just ready to get this started and have fans in the stands?
Yeah, it's just about time. It's been a long year, so I'm ready.
Can you tell us a little bit about the event that you guys had with the dog pack and the concert and the stuff?
Mile Lake Madness. That was super fun. First time we did it since I've been here. I think since they did it ever, really. So it was a great experience. Got to see the dog pack come out, see a lot of the student fans come out, got to have fun, watch some dunks, get everybody to see the new guys, things like that. So it was good, to see the faces in the arena, have some fun after with some music, stuff like that. So it was real lit.
You guys haven't been able to play in front of fans, but then the dog pack hasn't been able to be around you guys.
Yeah.
In that relationship hasn't been there.
Yeah.
What was it like, and how's that meshing together so far?
It's been great. They've shown a lot of love. Everybody's excited. It's been a long year. I think everybody's just ready to get back and start cheering for us again. A lot of people was coming up to me saying, we can't wait to see you this year. Can't wait to see the team this year. So everybody's excited. There's a lot of excitement going around. Can't wait to have it.
How much of the old are you bringing back, and how excited are you in terms, and I mean on the court, in terms of this new season coming up with the pieces that you have?
As far as the old, what do you mean by that?
I'm sorry, to put some context to that. I was thinking more in terms of the defense. Is anything that you guys had last year that you say, you know what, we're going to keep that.
Okay.
We're going to use that to propel this season.
I think we've always lived and died by the zone, so I think that's always going to stay. That's going to be a staple for us. But now this year, this team is different. We have a lot of size, we have a lot of length, we have a lot of athleticism. So it's going to be great to see how that goes against teams and how we can stifle teams and shut teams down with that. So I think that's the biggest thing that we're going to be keying on from, I think, that's what we bring in last year. But this year, I think with the team we have, the skill set we have as far as offensively, we'll be able to space this court out more, really with our shooters, with our drivers. Like I said, we have a lot of athleticism, so a lot of guys can take it off the bounce. We have a lot of great shooters on our team. So it's going to be good, to spread out the floor and, let us get the run and transition, stuff like that.
You guys get the ball going off the court, a little transition. Now you talked about defense and offense, but what about the transition? Are you guys going to do a little bit of that too?
Yeah, our intention is to run a lot this year. We want to be the most conditioned team in the country, so we want to run the transition. If we can get easy, quick buckets, we can do that. We're going to strive for that, but we have a backup plan with our offense and our half-court offense, stuff like that. So, but that's the biggest key this year, yeah.
Trying to be the most conditioned team in the country, unpack for me what the offseason's like trying to get to that point.
It was a lot of running. We've ran this hill that was up in Woodinville probably about 3 times this year alone, and I've ran it probably overall my course of being here probably like 6 times. So just having ran it 3 times this year has just been let you know the tone that we're setting for how we want to get out and run. With our new strength coach, Coach Bobby Medina, he's been getting us right with our preseason conditioning tests. Just a lot of NBA stuff that they do in the NBA with conditioning and how they prep for the season. So we've been doing a lot of that, and then in practice, just implementing a lot of transition drills, a lot of transition offense and defensive drills, getting back on defense, knowing our rotations on defense, getting out fast on offense, things like that, getting quick shots up and early in the shot clock when we can, and the smart ones. So it's been a real grind.
Can you give us an idea of some things that you've learned from Viking and just how much of a difference that is?
A few things, just being patient and being dominant, really. He just always harps on me every practice, every drill, everything, just being dominant and not taking no mercy. That's all he says when he comes to me. He can make 2 words, he'll say no mercy. And I already know what that means. But just patience, post defense, it was a big thing, staying out of foul trouble. So learn how to use my hands, not use my hands so as much, use my feet, use my athleticism, use my speed, things like that. To, prep myself for, not getting too late in the rotation of getting foul calls and things like that. So it's been a great help. He's been a great addition to not just me, but the other bigs on my team, with Jackson, incoming, and then Riley, and then Langston as well. So it's been a good help.
Not only do you have a lot of turnover on the court, but just, you've got new coaches.
Yeah.
How different is that with the 2 new guys that have joined the staff?
It's been different, but good different. Those guys have been acclimated since the spring workouts. We've had them in there, and they got the catch of how Coach Hop wants to coach and his coaching style and adjusting to that. And you have, alongside them with Dub and Coach Conroy, being a great help with them and breaking them down and getting used to the program and things like that. And, it just we all kind of clicked with the coaches. They know what we want. They know how we want to play. They know how we want to win. And, bringing their wisdom, bringing their perspective in, to help us and add to that is great.
Last year was hard for so many reasons.
Yep.
How great does it feel to just have this reset button of like, last year doesn't matter anymore, you're 0-0, and you got a fresh start?
It's been a great feeling. I kind of had a quick turnaround from last year's season. As soon as the season pretty much ended, I think we all did, really. Not just with the wins and losses, but just how the year went totally. But it was exciting. This being my 4th year, being able to experience, this last ride, this last dance with the group of guys that I want to be with, the coaches that I want to be with, the staff that I want to be with, it's been great. The energy's new. It's rejuvenating, to come to practice and be with a bunch of people that want to get better, want to work, things like that. And now it's just a matter of time of now the season's around, proving what we've done in the offseason and now showing it on the court for all the fans to see.
Hey,
How's it feel to have Bill Walton have a man crush on you?
what types of things would you like to see in the game on Thursday?
One more time.
Yeah, just what types of things would you like to see on Thursday?
On Thursday, just see all the hard work we put in, all the countless hours we put in as a team to come together and finally play somebody else. We've been beating on each other for about 3 or 4 months now collectively. So now just to see somebody with a different colored jersey go out there and compete, I think that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this Thursday. And what was your question?
Bill Walton.
Bill Walton? What about him? That's my guy.
Talking to him immediately, he seems to have a man crush on you.
I don't know. I think it started since I think my freshman year when we got to talk briefly during pregame one of our games, and he was just like, "You're going to be special. You're going to be special in this conference." And so as the years went by, people have countlessly told me like during the games, like I won't even be in the game, he'll be talking about me or somehow, some way bring me up in a conversation. And then obviously last year when I had a lot more playing time, he was talking about me and things like that. And then getting to see him at Pac-12 Media Day, he's just a ball of energy. But it's an honor. He's a legend in this game. He's a legend in this conference, a legend in the world of basketball. So for him to, find something in me and see something in me and see that I'm special in a certain type of way, it's been great. So any type of big shout out or any type of love from an OG like that is amazing.
Speaking of OG, you talked about this your last run. Are you embracing the leadership role, or is that just something that, have you thought about that, you being a leader?
Mm-hmm. It was more so, it was implemented a lot last year, so it wasn't like it was a new thing to me this year. I was inducted as one of the captains last year, so it was kind of me taking that leadership role early on and knowing how to be a great leader, how to be service to the guys on my team. Started that off early last year, and then now this year, being one of the only starters coming back, now you really got to step up and be a leader because now you have a whole bunch of new guys, a whole bunch of guys from different schools, different backgrounds, different personalities that you have to kind of gel and put together and come together as a team in a short amount of time because we only have each other for about 4 or so months so far. It's not like we've had guys come in since freshman year. So just gelling those guys and learning how can we trust each other, how can we become a team before we go out there and just play. That was the biggest thing. But being a leader is all about how can you serve others. And I think for me, that's been the biggest staple of me being a leader this year so far.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
In general, what has the team chemistry been like so far this season?
Team chemistry has been great, I would say. I would give it an A+ so far. We've all gelled since, like I said, at Pac-12, that we've gelled since June. So it's been pretty easy to get along with guys. We all kind of have similar interests. We enjoy spending time with each other. That's the biggest thing. This team is very egoless. There's no big egos. Everybody knows. And you get that when you have experience, when you have guys that have been through the wars of college. There's no egos. We know the goal that we want to have, what we set for ourselves and for what we want as a team. So it's been great. The chemistry's been great. Now it's time to see how that chemistry plays out against other people. So it's been good.
Do you think the team has an identity yet?
I would say it's a little too early to call right now just because we haven't really played anybody else to really find that. But are we on the verge to finding our identity pretty soon? Sure, I would say yeah. But if I had to put something on it right now just to give you an answer, I would say being a tougher together team, being a team that's, going to battle through adversity and not fold and not bend because things aren't going our way. We're going to find ways to win and find ways to stay together because, you'll see who you really have when things don't really go your way. So I think that's the team that we're striving to be, and we're working day to day to be like that one. So that would say right now that would be.
Of the new guys.
New guys. So where are we starting with? Freshmen all the way up?
Who's impressing you the most that maybe we haven't had a chance to see?
That's a good question. All of them, really. I would just start with our freshman, Sam. He's a quick learner. It's surprising to me when we first started implementing the zone in our offense how fast and he adjusted to the system. He's long, he's athletic, he can shoot really well. I think a lot of people will be able to see that this year. He can shoot really well off the catch. He's going to be a great help for us. He's a great rebounder. He has great instincts for the ball. With Jack, he's obviously highly talented for a reason. He's a very good, talented player. Still learning his way through the college game because he's new. It's like a deer. He's almost like a deer in headlights sometimes. But it's just my job, step in and show him the ropes of like, this is how you're going to go. Just slow down, play your game, do what you do that got you here. Just reminding him how good he is because as a freshman, everything's coming at you at 1,000 miles a minute. And just slowing him down, just letting him understand that, it's okay. You're going to mess up. Just keep learning, keep getting better, keep wanting to get better. As far as our transfers, PJ, he's been a great help. I love PJ. He's a great teammate to have. I love all my teammates, but PJ is a great teammate to have. His defense of instincts is amazing. You can see that in his experience with the Big 12, a very defensive conference. You can see where his energy is there. He can shoot the ball really well. He's a great slasher. He's athletic. So you're going to see we got a lot of high-flying guys, so he's one of those. You got Emmett from West Virginia. He's been great. He's been a great addition with the experience of, being in a top 15 team pretty much every year since he's been in college. He knows what it takes. He's very defensive-minded. He wants to go out and stop guys. And on the offensive side, he can shoot the ball really well. He can drive. He has great IQ. He can pass, things like that. And then you have our super seniors, Terrell and Dejan, where they both played in the Pac-12, so they know what it takes. They both won in the Pac-12, so they know what it takes. They played against us many, many times, so we know them like the back of our hand. They know us pretty much like the back of our hand. So now we have that odd connection where we're now all together. So it's been good to have all the guys here. Can't wait for the fans to see, how we've all gelled together up until this point. But yeah, it's been good. It's gonna be exciting.
Hey, how important will it be for you to stay out of foul trouble?
Huge. I think for me, and I forgot who, I was watching something, and they said the best ability is availability. And I think for me and for this team, if I'm on the court, we have a better chance of winning. And if we saw that when I was on the court, the good things have happened. So, and being a presence down low, having the experience that I've had being in the Pac-12 so far, I think it's behooving me to stay out of foul trouble and learn from my mistakes from last year. Watch a lot of film, talk to Coach Jones and talk to Coach Hop about different ways to have different defensive schemes to get around it, to stay out of that because it's important. And I want to help my teammates. I want to be out there on the court. And I feel like I deserve it to be out there. So why not put the work in? Why not take that extra step to find my way out of being in foul trouble a lot?
You mentioned conditioning earlier. What personally for you was the biggest thing you worked on in the offseason?
I would say being able to play for 40 minutes. So whether it was that leaning out, whether it was that doing a lot of different strength and conditioning within the weight room, just working on different muscles in my body to be able to play that long of a game and be able to play at it at a high level. I think those were the biggest things. Talking to our nutritionist, learning what things I can put in my body to help me fuel and help me recover faster, things like that. Because that was a big elephant in the room from last year, that I was super big. And how my thing now was going into this year, okay, how can I be super big and be agile as I normally have been? And so just learning from that and learning from where I want to be and where my goals are and where my goals for this season are, taking those right steps, putting in those hours in the gym have paid off so far. So I can't wait.
Anything else, guys?
Just one guy you didn't mention. Can you tell us a little bit about Langston?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
ever-
I forgot. My guy. Langston. Oh, man. He's a great teammate. He's a great teammate. He is, as everybody knows, he's crazy athletic. But he has a lot of other aspects to his game that I think a lot of fans and a lot of you guys will get to see this year. His defensive instincts are great, bar none. It helps when you can rebound, you can block shots, you can take charges. He's that guy. And on the offensive end, he's a threat because he's a lob threat. He can take it off the bounce and go to the hole and dunk on you. He can shoot an open shot. So he's a Swiss Army knife when it comes to an asset on our team, and we're going to need him in a lot of big games this year. His energy is very contagious, and I think you guys and the fans will see that this year. That when we need some energy, we need that little energy bug, he's going to pull us up. As long as the other guys too. So it's going to be he's a good addition to our team, and I can't wait to see him, excel this year at his first year at a Division I basketball. So,
All right.
Thank you guys. Oh, appreciate it.
All right, Nate.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Fire away, guys. And gals.
Hey, just what types of things would you like to see tomorrow?
We've been working on our defense and being active and just those guys being able to be in the gym with fans. Again, feeling that the excitement is what I'm really looking forward to for the guys. But just playing hard, playing together, and they've been doing it so far. And lights will be on, and we'll have fans, and hopefully they keep doing it.
At this point, how much of your system is in?
You know what? For the most part, defensively, we haven't really worked on adjustments and that type of thing. But more for the most part, they've done a really good job with our basic foundation of what we need. They've got a lot of experience, not obviously in the zone and those types of things, but they've adapted pretty darn well. and really proud of them.
You hinted at it at a Pac-12 media day that you might tweak or do some things with the defense, maybe be more aggressive there. Can you sort of give a little bit more, like, are you going to get out of the zone some? Are you going to press? What's
We've been working on, we've been working on our man. We've been working on pressing. What we have is great depth. And we've got some experience, and we've got some really talented defender people, and you want to have as much disruption as we possibly can. And we've got those types of guys. It's really exciting.
Are you playing 9 or 10, or how deeply?
I don't know. I mean, we've my comfort level has always been. I've always played around 8. I got to learn how to play 9 or 10. And the cool thing is we've got a lot of really talented players, and there's no difference between 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's a great thing. And I think everybody has a unique ability and a unique talent to help us win games.
And then in terms of the starters, are the people that we see tomorrow, will they be there sort of long term, you thinking?
I think so. I mean, anything can change, but for the most part, we'll see tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Do you have a starting lineup?
You know what? We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, I do. Yes. Yeah.
What's the chemistry been like?
It's been, you know what? I got to tell you this, and I told Percy at Pac-12, it's really interesting. It's been, I wish it was because of what we were doing, but these kids really get along, and we've got some kids that really love to win. They love to work. They're really connected. Having the guys come back, some of our transfers coming back home has been a really, really exciting, and there's a lot of pride. And when those guys, I tell you, the competition and practice has been as good as we've had since we've been here. Competitive in a positive sense, competitive, but on the court you want to beat each other, but then when you get out, you're as close as you can be. And I think that could also be having those four guys come back, growing up together, knowing each other, playing with each other. It's really, really cool to see.
Nate, talk to us. And I asked him about his leadership. What have you seen in terms of his leadership growth and where he's at?
Nate's been, he's just one of those guys who's grown into being really comfortable with who he is and how he approaches life. He's a great student, great basketball player. Last year was obviously difficult for a lot of people and him, but it was his first time really playing, and you can already see. We had a scrimmage this last weekend, and you can already see the growth of him and the maturity and the calmness, and that carries over. And he's one of those guys. Leaders can say the right thing and be in the huddle and say whatever you want, but it's really his actions. He does everything he's supposed to do. He's very unselfish. He's always trying to pick a teammate up, and so his example is just worth its weight in gold.
There's been a lot of talk about Quincy, his impact on Jamal Bay. Quincy, his final year here, took a huge jump.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are looking at Jamal thinking he may be able to do the same thing. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen with Quincy working with Jamal?
Well, Quincy's just, he's just an incredible role model for these guys. Like he's where they all want to be. He went through, thinking that he was going to be one and done, and stayed the course. Had ups and downs like most of these kids do, but his success all came out of how hard he worked. And he's been great for Jamal. He's able to go on the court and show him. A lot of people can talk about this is what you should do. He can actually go out there and show him and defend him. And I think that's just huge. And their relationship and watching them bond has been great. And kids spell love Time, and Quincy's in the gym just like Dub, Will Conroy all the time, and Coach Jones. And there's great bonding going on with the players and working on their games and watching a lot of film. And but Quincy's been doing a great job.
You mentioned the four guys coming back home. Is there sort of a natural chemistry there, just given that they played either maybe with or against each other back in high school? You know what? Yeah. It's almost like they're brothers. And it's funny because they fight like brothers too. They argue like brothers. And it's really cool to see, Terrell and get on PJ and PJ get on Terrell, and then John. It's just funny, and then Emmett's in on it. And I thought the really cool thing is also, you have those guys, but they've also have embraced with Jamal and Nate and Cole and Riley and the guys that were here to the point of them having a really, really strong bond. And that just goes back to the type of people that they are. They're great people, great kids, and like I said, organically, I remember asking Jamal Bay, I said, Jamal, talk to me about this team. He says, Coach, this is the closest team that I've been on in the last 4 years. And so that says it all. So really excited about that.
I know you like to play 8 deep, but you've got potential to go 10.
Yeah.
Does that allow the first 8 to maybe play a little bit different, knowing that you can go maybe?
I mean, you're going to have to wait and see, but yes, we've got, like I said, we've got, all our players are good players, and they all bring an element to the game that can help us win. So it's going to be fun to see how it plays out, but we've been working on a few things, and some guys need to get in a little bit better shape, understand the system better, but the potential is what's so exciting.
How do you think this team will, I guess, look different or play different than the one last year? Like, is there anything that, like, fans or that people will see that, yes, that's different? Oh, yeah, I can see that that's different from last year.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a team that really plays for each other. I think you're going to see a team that is all about effort and heart. You're going to see a team that I think alumni, people in the community, our fans will really connect with. and be proud of. And that's what it's all about. And a lot of our guys take a lot of pride in who they represent and take a lot of pride in the school and the city and where they come from. And I know the guys that were on the team last year have something to prove. And, you know, with all that being said, you know, it's a long road. It's a tough season. Our league is tough. But we like where we're at right now and really excited to go out there and compete and have the opportunity. You know, doesn't matter about preseason rankings, whatever. We're worried about postseason rankings. What are we at the end of the year? You know, some guy had us 13th in a league of 12. That was pretty. I've never seen that before, but it's good. You know, this place. You know, we talk about grit and having a chip on your shoulder. You know, we've got a bunch of guys like that, and that's what's really exciting. Castricone, how are you, buddy?
This is an older team. You've got a lot of experience. How much easier is that to coach?
You know what? When you have it practice, you're coaching men. You're coaching people who have done it before. I mean, you look at Dejon Davis. He's already scored 1,000 points, graduated from Stanford, and he's back home. Terrell Brown scored 1,468 points. Emmett's been in the Sweet 16 and played. PJ's started for 2 years. Jamal Bay's played a lot of minutes. Nate Roberts last year for the first time. Experience matters because they know what it takes. They're more secure with who they are, and connect that with the bond that they have. It's, you know, it's all about, you know, how are we going to win? How are we going to get a stop? And I will tell you the competitive nature of the kids is at a high level, which I love.
At your event that you had with the dog pack, the video of Langston dunking over Riley was pretty impressive. Was there maybe another wow moment that you've seen during practice on any of your guys that you can tell us about?
Gosh, a lot of wow moments. You know, we have a lot of guys that play above the rim. We're a lot better in transition than we've been in the past. Got really good finishers. And you know, the last, you know, I so you're asking me a question. You know me, I go on a ramble. So I hope I answered it. But you know, the luxury of having two point guards with experience of a fifth year transfer and a sixth year transfer, and one of them had a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. One of the stats that we've been kind of down at since we've been here is, you know, live ball turnovers, turnover percentage, and I think you're going to see a big shift, as well as when you got good playmakers like those guys. They make it easier for everybody else to score. So some lobs, some transition runs, some dribble handoffs for threes. There's an IQ and an experience. And so there's been so many really good plays. But, you know, Langston, you can say, there's very few people you can say, just throw it anywhere up there. Just go throw it up there and he'll go get it. Just, I can make the pass, you know. He's that type of an athlete.
Do you think that you guys have been able to solve that sort of, the deal last year where like you were playing defense but you fouled a lot?
A lot.
So that idea, that have you been able to solve that, being able to stop people, and it's hard enough because you haven't really played about it.
Yeah.
Being able to make stops without fouling.
Well, I'll tell you one stat from the last game where we just had a scrimmage. Is Nate Roberts played 30 minutes and he had one foul. And he was in foul trouble a lot. And I think that's experience. And the guy he played against was an elite, like a guy who's an all-league caliber player with moves and smarts and physicality. And so I thought that was a definite plus. And we're bigger at all positions. And that's also a plus in the defense that we play. And so but that's a big thing, Percy, is defending without fouling. And, you know, the guys have done a good job so far, and we'll see what we do tomorrow night.
To like that right there, how much has your new assistant, Sorority Jones, been able to help, you know, Nate or even the like bigs with their, you know?
I mean, Coach Jones has been great. I never believed that, you know, you had to be a big guy to coach bigs. You know, Pete Newell was arguably one of the great big man coaches of all time. But Coach Jones, you know, his years in this, he played the position. He can speak the language with the kids. He can show them the same type of thing. Other than he's stronger than Nate. There's very few people stronger than Nate Roberts. White King might be one of them, Coach Jones. But he just brings a mentality and a knowledge that if you haven't played the position, you can teach it, but internally, the level that you have to be at. And he's done a really good job with Nate, with all the bigs, Jackson, Riley. He's done a great job.
How difficult has it been? I know you've got players you've got to teach your system, but you've also got 2 coaches that you need to teach your system. What's harder, teaching the players your system or the coaches?
It's both. The great thing is, Will Conroy does a great job. He could teach the zone better than me tomorrow, or people who coach zone. He's got it. He's been able to. We've spent time with the staff, with more meetings, more film. I talked to Coach Q this morning. I was like, "So Q, what do you think? What do you think about the zone?" He's like, "Because Q will play on the scout team and play against it, and you got a guy who's got great intelligence, played in the league. He just got done playing, and he's like, Coach, you can see why it's difficult, and so he's starting to understand and teach it better, and he's got Emmett and Langston and Samuel and Jamal Bay playing at a high level, the forward position."
How easy is it to draw up a strategy knowing that from the point guard perspective, knowing that as you're drawing up your offense, that part of it is taken care of, and then you go into the next part? How comfortable?
When you have, there was multiple plays in our scrimmage where we were discombobulated on the court. And usually it's the coach over there going, "Get over there, get over there." And Dejon Davis is like, he was like an orchestrator. And that's a luxury for a coach. When you have to call every play and it becomes wearing, when you have guys that you can depend on, that value the ball like a coach does and understands execution, it's a luxury. And to have 2 of them is big time. And it's both of them have great talent, and like I said before, they've got great pride in it, and so offensively it becomes a lot easier getting to where we have to get the ball.
Can't hide that smile.
I get excited. I'm excited. And he's, they're our first year we would do drills, and we had a pretty competitive team, and you're seeing that level even increase a little bit with multiple players. Practices have been better. You've been able to go longer. When the practice is over, they're not leaving the gym. They love staying there. They love working. I mean, Langston, it's like, Langston, you got to go home, son. Like, you got to go home. You got to eat. Go eat and go home. But the standard has been reset, and reset in a good way.
Last couple of years have been hard.
Mm-hmm.
New coaching staff, all new players. Is this just kind of like starting over for you and maybe rejuvenate you a little bit, get you a little more excited, or is this?
It's so exciting. It's coaching anything is just really exciting because you got a group of guys, and the newness is good too. And it's just you're going to go out there and you want to go out with guys that you can depend on. You want to go out with guys with a like mindset, and that's what it's all about. And it's not where you start; it's where you finish. And I remember even our first year, and we played Virginia Tech, and we were teaching them the zone, and we were losing by 36, and they made 15 threes, and it was like a firestorm, and had to fly back from New York and get back, and then thinking that the world was going to end, and 2 weeks later we knocked off Kansas. And so it's that's the thing about coaching, is it's a process, and when you got guys that have experience, they have a tendency to have a higher learnability, and they've done it. And that's just exciting, Kim. It's like that's why you do it. You do it to see what you can pull out of these guys. And so, yeah, I can't wait to get started tomorrow night and get to that first step.
Hey, just the 4 years as head coach, what things do you know now that you didn't know when you first sort of walked through these doors and you were doing the push-ups? I remember your first, you did push-ups when you were first. You don't have to do that now.
The only difference is, personally, I could probably do more 5 years ago.
5?
I didn't ask a lot. What things have you learned over these past 4 months?
You know what? Sometimes, you learn more through the struggle, for sure. And, what you realize, it is just basketball. And you're just trying to teach these kids, how to be successful on and off the court. And you have a standard. And you got to hold that standard. It's the most important thing in that culture. And learned a lot, but I will tell you one thing, is when you get a group of guys and a staff that are going in the same direction, that love to work, that love to represent this university, take a lot of pride when they go out on that court, and you have a togetherness, that tougher together piece, you can do anything and you can accomplish anything. As the leader, I've got to hold that standard, hold it tight, and do anything I can to keep it there.
Anything else?